Hello. Welcome to our new podcast.
Yes.
We are so excited. You guys don't even know how long we have been planning this and talking about it and saying that we're going to do it, and now we're finally here. So, that being said, this podcast is...
Andy.
And Maddie. Andy and Maddie, the podcast.
Very simple name, straightforward.
Nice
easy to find
and
us.
easy, right, exactly. So those of you guys who know us obviously know that's who we are. My name is Marissa, but one of my nicknames is Maddie.
My name is Andrew, and one of my nicknames is Andy, but most people just call me Andrew.
So yeah, this is Andy and Maddie, and we are so excited. We wanted to make a podcast just because, so many people have, I think, remarked to us that we should make a podcast, that, we're very entertaining, that we have very nice conversations. I mean, guys, we talk probably daily for hours as it is, so we figured might as well share those hilarious / insightful, educational, controversial, etc. moments with you at home. So... Thank you for joining us. We are so excited.
She used the word controversial right away.
It's not always going to be controversial,
It's not,
obviously,
no.
guys. But I mean, I gotta draw them in somehow. Obviously, we gotta make sure you guys are excited to continue to tune in.
Ultimately, we're two 27-year-old best friends. We live in El Paso, Texas. We are from very similar backgrounds. And me and Marissa have always felt like we have something to say and that we have something that we can offer to the world. We've gone through many phases. Like we were, at one point, activists. We were very active in our community.
Okay, before you get too deep into it, I think we should start from the beginning. I think we should start from the beginning.
Yes, let's start from the beginning.
We wanted to kind of tell you guys about like our story, how we became friends, kind of the journey that we've come on, so that you guys can have a better idea as to where we're coming from, why we're coming from that place, I guess, kind of our mindsets and, all the things that we've been through and how it's made us into the people we are today. And, that seems fitting for the first episode. So I think that the first thing we wanted to do was tell you the story about how we actually met. So I don't know, do you want to start it or should I tell them?
Yeah, we can start. I can start.
Okay, you start.
We met in high school. The first class in high school was theater, and our first class was...
It was first period.
First period together. Yeah.
Freshman year, first period.
And then the first conversation we had was I sat at Marissa's table with her, and we had a conversation about how we both write poetry.
Yeah.
And then at the time, I was super into this website that's called DeviantArt. I don't know if any of you know what this website is. It's not as popular as it was, obviously, more than 10 years ago. So this website was where I published my poems, and Marissa hadn't heard of it, and I told her, you should publish your poems there. And so we made a pact, basically, that we were going to read each other's poems and give each other feedback and, just support each other in our poetry, Adventures, yes.
I guess, creativities.
Yes.
Creations. So basically, and then we started bonding about a bunch of other stuff. Do you remember the second thing that we bonded over? It was ghosts. Of course, the paranormal, the supernatural stuff already beginning, already in our spiritual, little selves, even before we knew it, when we were like 14, freshmen in high school. So, and then we just like became best friends and,
No, but to go more into detail of the ghost stories, which could be a whole episode in itself.
Oh my gosh.
But we basically talked about our family's history with ghosts and our experiences up to that point, since we were 14 at that time. And I have this crazy story of my grandmother when she lived in Japan and she was pregnant with my mother, and then you had your own stories as well, and then we both kind of shocked each other with this information, and then we went from there where we were like, okay, she writes poetry, well, I was thinking, she writes poetry, she believes in ghosts, we can talk about things that we both have in common. So I had a good feeling about this friendship. At the time, I did have two best friends, though. That one of them is, funny enough, named Mary. Her name was Mary. And then I met Maddie, which which was hilarious to me at the time.
We obviously both had other friends. I mean,
we both had
never met before.
Yeah, this was our freshman
I don't
year.
know. I don't
want
to get too in depth with like that little moment, but yeah. So long story short, we become best friends in high school, we were both like in theater. Like we were both theater president. Like we were both drama club president.
She was drama club president first, and then I followed after.
You know, we bonded over our love for performing and like just being creative and all of that. And then when we graduated high school, we actually moved to New York City together when we were 19.
We had just turned 19.
Yeah, we just turned 19, and we'd been planning it for like a whole year. We saved money. We like literally did it all pretty much completely by ourselves.
You were a server, and I was at Forever 21 and Taco Bell.
Yeah, so we just saved money, hustled, like did not spend any money that we made for like a whole year, and just like saved it all. And then we moved to New York City. We lived in Brooklyn, and it was an insane ride. That definitely did a lot to kind of mold us into the people that we are. We struggled a lot. It was beautiful, but also, you know, very, very intense. And I think that we lived there for 2 years, and we, you know, when we came out of that, we just kind of felt like, you know, maybe this is not the lifestyle that we want. And we decided to move back to El Paso, which is where we're from. It was originally only supposed to be really temporary. Like I remember that we were saying that we wanted to travel the world, and we had all these like, you know, ambitions to like just start traveling the entire world, but that didn't end up happening. We ended up staying here for a couple more years. But in that time, like we have had some crazy growth personally. Really started in New York, but we've gone through a lot of spiritual growth. I think that that's a huge thing about us, like as people, and something that you'll hear us talking about a lot is like our spiritual growth, getting into meditating, getting into kind of like connecting with the universe on a different realm, understanding the universe, like, and like quantum physics and all of that. And also just our passion for like really taking care of ourselves and being conscious of, you know, what we consume, what we're purchasing, you know, like kind of just really asking deeper questions about our society and like what serves us and what doesn't, you know, like we're really passionate about food, and we're both vegan. We've both been vegan for like this year is going to be like years. No, this year is going to be like 7 years. 7 years? Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's been a long time, but you know, these are just the things that interest us, and obviously we have our various interests, but yeah, I think that we've just gained so much perspective on life. Like, you know, we're both planning on moving to Europe now. I spent this past summer, like I spent 2 months just traveling through Europe. Andrew also was in Sweden. I don't know if you want to talk about that briefly.
Yeah, I was in Sweden for 6 months for a master's program, and I had to write my thesis. I failed my first attempt, and then I had to do my second attempt, so I ended up staying there all summertime. And because of the pandemic, I was supposed to be there for 2 years, but I ended up only being there for, in total, 6 months. So it was half a year of my life where I was in Europe and just enjoying my life, you know, like I didn't work. I was like blessed enough to have saved up enough to where I was just living off my savings. And I was also living with a lovely elderly couple that basically, like, me and them had a really nice relationship. And over the time that I lived there, it started as an Airbnb, and then I was able to stay with them, just, you know, helping them with their garden and things like that. So it all worked out for me. And if you're thinking about doing anything like that, I'm sure that you will hear us talking about it, of encouraging you to go to new places, go to new countries, go to places where they don't speak your language, where it's a completely different culture than yours, because you're going to learn so much about yourself in the process. Like, I learned infinitesimal things about myself while I was there, and I did have so many lovely experiences, met beautiful people, and Marissa can say the same thing about her experience as well.
I think that, you know, we'll probably go more in depth on that, like those kinds of things specifically as the podcast goes on, but yeah, just to kind of give you guys like a brief idea about who we are and, you know, the things that we've experienced. But for this first episode, we wanted to play a little game for you guys. So that you guys can really get to know who we are. So we downloaded this app, And we were trying to think of good ways that we could like do something that would be fun, but it's like we already know everything about each other, so it's kind of hard for us to like play an icebreaker, obviously, right? We've been best friends for like freaking 1,000 years now, so.
Yeah, I was joking that we're gonna play Never Have I Ever, and then Marissa is going to, we're gonna roast each other so hard.
Yeah, no, so obviously we cannot play Never Have I Ever because, I mean, we already know everything that each other have done. So we're not going to play Never Have I Ever, but we are going to do something kind of similar. So I downloaded this app. It's called Sparks. And it's basically questions that you can ask somebody. It's like just conversation question for fun, whatever, right? So yeah, I think we'll just go back and forth. We're going to ask each other these questions and like kind of use that as an opportunity to like talk about some different things, get to know us a little bit better, some more specific things about us. And I have a feeling this is going to be like nice, fun, deep, but also funny and like, we'll see. We'll see what kind of questions come out.
We'll see if it stays on the surface.
Yeah, so we have a lot of topics here. And so I think that we should like just pick a different topic every time because there's various topics that we can choose from as far as the questions are concerned.
Okay, well you pick the first one.
Okay, fine. So I'm going to start with just the top one, which is called After Dinner. So I think these are kind of just like general conversation questions. So I'm going to go with that one for the first one. So, Andrew, if you were free to do anything you wanted all day, what would you do?
I would sit by the ocean. Sit by the ocean and jump in the ocean and then just go back and play.
Where in the world? What ocean? What beach?
I would say somewhere nice, warm. I didn't get the chance to go to the Italian beaches because we didn't have time for that when we went, but I think that they're probably absolutely gorgeous and amazing, and probably something like that. Mm-hmm.
That sounds nice.
That's exactly
so that's what you would want to do all day?
All day. That's what I would do sometimes.
You wouldn't want to do anything else at all?
No. Honestly, no.
You would be there like sunrise to sunset or what?
I think so, yeah, because I would do that when I was in Sweden. On the nicest days, I would just go take a blanket and take something to eat, my water bottle, and I would just stay there all day. With sunscreen, obviously, but yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
And what about you? You should just answer the same question.
No, give me a different question.
Are you sure?
Yeah, give me a different question.
Okay, I think, okay, let's do another one.
Oh.
Okay. So, what was the best part of your day today?
Today, the best part of my day today, that's hard to say. I mean, honestly, I had a really good day today, actually. I was doing some other filming, and that was really nice. I picked up like some new stuff that I ordered from Sephora, so that was nice too. Mm-hmm. Tried out a new eyeliner, which I get excited about.
Madi is the eyeliner queen.
Thank you for letting the people know the truth.
If you're hearing this and not watching the video, Madi is very proud of her eyeliner.
I mean, I think it's just kind of my thing. It's a little bit of my how could I put this? My trademark.
It is.
It's like my makeup trademark. So, yeah, I just love eyeliner. And there's this new one that I had been seeing all over TikTok. I really wanted to try it, and I finally got it. And I got the black and white, and 20 out of 10, guys.
What is it?
20 out of 10.
What brand?
It is the NYX Matte Liquid Lipstick. Eyeliner. Liquid eyeliner. The NYX Matte liquid eyeliner, and I got the black and the white, and I am obsessed. It's really good. I like the actual like wand, like the applicator. It's really matte, which is like really nice, and it's very pigmented. Looks good. I mean, you can see it.
No,
you can see it. It looks good, especially the white. Wow. White is so difficult to formulate, I have found, like in eyeliner. And a lot of the times it just ends up looking kind of like watercolor. That's the best way I can describe it, as like some areas look pigmented, but then other areas will not look really that pigmented, and it looks kind of like washed out, and like you have to do several layers. Mm-hmm. I was so shocked that I only had to do like one little swipe with the white, and it looked perfect.
It does look really cool.
It looked perfect. So I'm really impressed. I don't know if that was the best part of my day, but that was definitely a highlight. I just like filming in general, to be honest. I did a little meditation, and I filmed it, and that was really nice. Maybe that was the highlight of my day, because I was just sitting in my bed with like under the sun and meditating and making a video about it. So I think that was the highlight of my day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, should we just keep going on this topic?
What is this
do you
app
think?
called again?
It's called Sparks.
Sparks.
And it's 555. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, angel number queen. Let's go.
What's angel number queen. Duh. Hello. The baddies know.
I believe.
Okay.
Just to be clear.
Yeah. Let's not dismiss the
truth.
It is
555.
Okay.
It is 555.
Numerology is real, people. Okay.
Okay.
So Andrew, would you rather be very tall or very short? So maybe let's say 7 foot plus or like under 5 feet.
I would say very short, and the reason why I say very short is because from what I know about my family members who are really tall, like 6'5" and above, I think that, I don't know, like walking into certain places, I think like, obviously I'd love myself no matter what, but I think that being shorter is like, I don't know, I think you can accommodate it more, and also the health complications related to being really tall, because I've read about that before, about how it's like, back pain and like things like that, like once you get really, really old, know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. That makes sense. Okay.
Anyway.
Next question. But this time I want you to pick
a category.
I want you to pick a category. Yeah. Let's switch up the category.
Let's do
a little switchy
personalities.
Personalities. Okay, let's go.
Okay. So, what personal habit are you most proud of?
That's tough. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that I do like regularly enough to call it a habit, because there's a lot of things that I think I do often that I would definitely say I'm proud of. Like, okay, one thing I'm really proud of right now for sure is that every single night I've been going to sleep to subliminals. So essentially what these do is that they work to reprogram your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind is so important when it comes to like your overall mental state, your vibration, like what you're attracting, what you're manifesting into your life. So much of it is like the self-concept that you have in your subconscious mind. So it's like, even though you consciously might be thinking these things or you believe certain things about yourself, if you have a limiting like subconscious belief about yourself, that is going to still be the ruling belief, because so much of like your mind is the subconscious. And so it's really, really important to try to like tap into that subconscious and like undo any of the like negative programming that's not, serving you in your life. And so I've been doing that, and I also have been really working on before I go to sleep and when I wake up, for that same reason, because that's when your brain is like in the theta state, I think it's called. Don't quote me.
The first 10-15 minutes of your day are very impressionable.
The last couple of minutes before you go to sleep, because your brain is like, essentially your brain is in this state where it's like in a limbo between conscious and subconscious. So think of it as like a bridge between the conscious and the subconscious realms. And so it's like what you do when you're on that bridge is so important, because you're so conscious of it, And so I begin every single day by telling myself in my mind, if I don't say it out loud, I am waking up in my most abundant timeline. I don't even think I've told you that, but I've been doing that every day. Every single day before I even open my eyes. I mean, it's the first thing I think about now, which is good. That's the point, right? When I go to sleep, I usually do something around the same thing. Like I'll say like I will be waking up in my dream life, so that it's like setting the intention. And I used to do like affirmations first thing when I woke up, and last thing when I went to sleep. I literally had a list of like, I am so grateful for my amazing career. I'm so grateful for the infinite money in my bank account. And literally reading that list every single day before I went to bed and when I woke up. And I kind of want to start doing that again as well. But yeah, it's just like I think it's such a powerful way to, start and end the day with intention. So I would say that's probably what I'm most proud of recently, at least.
So your personal habit that you're most proud of is listening to subliminals.
I mean, I think it's like more specifically.
No, I'm not.
No. I don't think it's bad. I think it's not just listening to subliminals is what I was going to say. I think it's more like reprogramming my subconscious mind every day is what I'm most proud of.
There we go.
You know what I mean?
There we go.
Okay, Andrew.
About that life.
I feel like that question's kind of. These questions are interesting, guys. I feel like
Well, just read
I should
one.
read them.
Just
Okay,
pick one.
we're gonna do the next one.
Just
shoot.
Yeah, just pick
We
one.
got an ad. Hold on.
Maddie's like skipping through all these questions, like,
okay.
based off what she thinks.
Okay. We're gonna go with this one. Just 'cause it was
5
the next
questions
one.
later. This is not okay.
What would you name your boat if you had one?
So that's a funny question because first of all, when I was in Sweden and Denmark, a lot of people have boats. So I did not know this about Denmark, but it's like a canal city. They have all these canals
You
going
mean
through.
Copenhagen?
Copenhagen, yeah. Sorry. Copenhagen is a canal city, and it's like they literally have all of these boats and everything, and everyone has a boat. Not everyone, but there's a lot of boats, okay? Like, whole canals are like, it's like parking lots of boats, essentially. And for someone like me, who's from the desert and from El Paso, Texas, I could not even, like, fathom this. And I remember looking at these boats, and they all had cute names, you know? Like, there was some of them that, like, they just were just such cute names. So I guess thinking about it, I don't know, it's kind of like naming a pet or naming a child. Or you name it after someone who's, like, very important in your life or something like that. So I would say probably I would name it...
It doesn't have to be that serious. It could probably be an inside joke.
Okay, no. But you could just tell that these people are, like, really attached to their boats. Like, you can really tell that I really noticed for the first time in my life. I was like, wow.
Well, yeah, but this is about you and your boat.
Yeah, I know,
It shouldn't matter what anyone else does.
But I personally
What will you name your boat? That's the question.
I know for certain that I would care about it that much also.
Okay, well, what are you naming your boat then?
That my boat is going to be an extension of me.
Okay, well...
So I would have to name my boat something that really means a lot to me. So I'm going to go with probably naming it Sippy. Because that's my grandpa's nickname.
That's cute.
His real name is Cipriano, and so yeah, Sippy, with the C, C-I-P-I. That's gonna be the name.
That's cute. That's cute.
And I'll love that boat, Sippy.
We love it. That was good.
Right?
That was good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Okay.
I had to explain why I'm gonna name it something so meaningful.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go on to the next question. Woo!
I'm gonna desires.
Oh shit.
Well, okay, and I'm gonna pick the first question, unlike Marissa, who got to choose her question.
It's because some of them were dumb. It was like, what's your favorite clothing store?
As a teacher, there is no dumb question.
Boring!
There is no such thing as a dumb question.
Okay, they're not dumb. They're just uninteresting.
Okay. What's to you? That's her opinion, and she's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, this is my podcast, okay? So I get to choose.
Okay.
Okay.
What's something you desire to be, but were too afraid to risk failing at?
Wow, what a fucking... I like that. I like
What's
that
something you desire to be, but were too afraid to risk failing at?
You know, I don't know. I kind of feel like this question is difficult for me because that's kind of like, I feel like my entire personality that I'm like, I will take any risk to do what I want. You know what I mean? I would say even the position I am in right now is kind of a risk because I'm really banking all I have on like what I really want. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of interesting. Like, I literally wrote my college acceptance letters, like my college admission essays about my biggest fear being too afraid to do everything that I wanted to and take risks and do that. So I feel like that's something that's
Is there something like climbing a cliff or climbing Mount Everest?
I mean, it's like I'm not really afraid of failing though, because I feel like if I would make the decision to do it and just try it, it wouldn't be about like being afraid to fail. Like, I don't know, I feel like if I'm gonna climb Mount Everest, right? Like, if I'm gonna decide to do that and I want to do that, I'm gonna train and I'm gonna make sure I'm ready. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And even if that takes time...
But there's no dream of yours that you had that you were too afraid to risk failing at.
I guess maybe, like, acting?
There we go.
I mean, it's not like that's my, like... that ever was, like, my number... I mean, I guess when I was younger, that kind of was my number one dream. Or even music, too, actually. I mean, because I was writing music since I was a little kid. Like, writing lyrics since I was, like, 7 years old. And I loved to sing, and, like, you know, that was something that I really cared about. Maybe that even more than acting, to be honest, I mean. But, I don't know, it's kind of weird, actually. I think that I just never felt maybe confident enough branding myself as an, like, musician or as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
And that there were others around me who were more consistently labeled by other people as that, and I didn't feel like other people were labeling me as that, and so it kind of felt like, well, I have to, like, maybe figure out a different way to express my creativity that's not, like, just being an actor or being a singer. Because sometimes I think about it, I'm like, if I committed to that, I could have done that too, you know? Like, if I had just done that when we were in New York, like, found an agent, or, like, really, like, if I decided right now to be a musician, I feel like I could have, like, a really cool concept and be a really cool artist or whatever, you know? But I don't know. I think that maybe that is it. That I think that I just kind of, like, didn't think that people saw me as that necessarily, and that, like, you know, it's like people always saw me as a writer, but maybe not as, like, an actual artist, like a singer. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No,
Even though I can sing and I know I'm a good singer, I never felt like I was the best singer. You know? I don't know. I guess that would be it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to do the same category for you, desires.
Okay.
So, what's one thing you love but don't really need?
What's one thing I love but don't really need? I mean, I guess I love, I don't know, like, good, I don't know, this is gonna be silly, but I love, like, good meat substitutes. Like, I love Incredible Meat, I love Beyond Meat, I love...
That's funny.
I love all of that stuff. I love fake chicken.
Meat substitutes.
Yeah, I love fake chicken. I love it all. I love fake fish. I love vegan substitutes.
The meat substitutes, yeah.
Yeah, and I think
that's funny. You do love those.
Yeah, and I think that they're delicious, and I buy them, like, weekly. But I don't think that I would need them. I think I could survive off of, you know, maybe even making my own seitan or making my own, you know, whatever, just tempeh or whatever. But I think that vegan meat substitutes, I feel like if I didn't have them, I would somehow get by still, you know. But no.
Somehow get by still, so dramatic.
Well, it's because, you know, I think
I would survive somehow.
It's because a good Incredible Burger, a good Beyond Burger, a good, like, meal of just chicken nuggets with some ketchup. I mean, it's like
Impossible.
That's what I like, you know, that's like our comfort foods, like as an American person. That's like we were raised eating these foods.
I think, like, for me, I just don't really even like, I mean, I like them, I just don't really like how it makes me feel, the vegan substitutes. Like, personally,
they don't make me feel anything better.
It feels processed. It feels like not that healthy. It feels not that nutritious. It feels like you're just trying to get the substitute. And for me, I'm just kind of like, is it really worth it just for that?
I eat my Beyond Burger with, like,
always been
Dave's
a thing.
Killer Bread.
That's
and,
all
like,
I know, but it's like
kale and arugula.
I mean, I bought packs of Beyond Burgers, but it's like, I don't know. For me, I'm like, I don't even really do bread. So it's like, if I'm gonna do literally the last time I ate,
gluten intolerant.
Well, I mean. Yeah, that's why I'm saying is, like, and that's another thing, though, actually, is that a lot of, like, the vegan substitutes have, like, a lot of gluten and wheat products in them.
Yeah, I guess, like, the breaded stuff.
So it's just kind of, like, irritating to me, and I just don't know. I'm like, ooh, like, I don't know, like, the vegan crispy nuggets and stuff, it's just, like, very once in a while. It feels like junk food to me. That's what I think.
That's the thing.
But I just can't eat that regularly, because I will feel gross.
I don't eat it regularly, but it's every so often. I mean, your
body can take it much better than I can. I just think it's that simple. Like, you just are able to, like, metabolize that better, I think.
I eat it every so often, and it's to, like switch up my super healthy, just tempeh and just seitan vibe.
We don't have to, like, debate.
But anyway, yeah, that's the one thing that I love, but I would be able to go on without.
Okay, should we stay in desires, or what do you think?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah? Next question.
Okay, well, this one's for me.
Okay. What do you think your purpose in life is?
Wow, what a deep question.
For the first episode, what do you think
that's a good question.
The purpose in your life is?
Okay. I mean, honestly, anyone who knows me knows that I feel like I've always known what my purpose in my life is, ever since I was a little kid. I just will never forget, like, the way I felt when I was a child. Like, I had this inner burning fire of, like, just wanting to, like, do what I felt called to already. And, I mean, maybe I didn't understand the full expression of what exactly that would look like, you know, as an adult in my real life. Like, as time went on. But I think that I knew that I had creative abilities that I was really passionate about and that I was good at, and that made me feel super happy and alive and like in the moment and fulfilled. But I knew that I wanted to use those abilities to impact a large number of people. And I always knew that I was supposed to do something that was going to reach a lot of people. Like, I always felt like I had this really important grand purpose. And it's actually kind of crazy because I was just thinking about it the other day. I wanted to make a TikTok about remembering like my incarnation when I was a little kid. Like the fact that when I was a little kid, I would have these dreams about this place that I would go to sometimes. And it was very interesting because when I was in this place in these dreams, I never had a body. No one had a body. There was no physical bodies at all. It literally was just light. Like, that's the best way I could describe it. Almost like mist, I guess. But there was no feeling and there was no talking. It was all telepathic. Like, I could just hear, like, I just knew when someone was there. I knew when someone was talking to me, like, whatever, right? And I used to always describe it when I was little as, like, the color of calm, because it was, like, very, like, muted, like, light, like, blues and purples, like, and I just felt so purely calm when I was, like, in this place, like, so purely, like, you know, just relaxed and at peace and, like, in bliss and love, you know, like, I just felt so nice and just good when I was in this place. And when I was maybe about, like, 7 or 8, I had a dream. It was the last time I had a dream that I was in this place, actually, too, which is kind of interesting. But I swear, I think I had a dream of, like, a memory of incarnating into this life. Because in the dream, I was in this place, and I was, like, communicating with somebody. I don't really remember all the details, but it was almost like in the dream I wasn't even getting all the details. I just knew what I was doing, if that makes sense. Because it was, like, a memory, like a fragment of a memory almost, you know? And I was in this place, I was talking to somebody about this life that I was about to start. And we were talking about it, and we were, like, all I was really picking up from it was that I knew that it was going to be, like, challenging, and there was going to be some struggles, and it was going to be difficult. But that I had a very important mission, and in my, like, mind or my soul, whatever, I knew that, like, I wanted to do it. Even though I knew it was going to be, like, difficult for me to get there, I knew that I needed to do this, then that it was going to be, like, a really expansive opportunity for me. And so I talked to the soul, and they were like, are you sure, are you sure, are you sure? And I was like, yes, absolutely, I'm positive, I want to do it. And then they led me over to, like, 3 other souls that were, like, saying goodbye to me and telling me they loved me, and they were like, we'll see you soon, blah, blah, blah. And whether those were people that were my spirit guides, or whether those were, like, ancestors, or you know, soul family, whatever, right? Like, I have no idea. But it was these 3 beings that I was saying goodbye to. And then I went over to this last being, and I feel like it was almost like it was like a lever in, like, the realm, where it was, like, this, like, trap, like, you know, like, almost like a trap door, really. Like, I, like, went to stand in this specific area. And like I said, no bodies. It wasn't like there was a literally trap door. It was just like I moved over to this other area.
Wow.
And then this being was like, okay, are you ready? And I was like, yeah. And then that was the dream. That was the dream.
You've told me about this before.
I have told you about it. But, so it's just like, I've always felt like my purpose in this life was to bring the light I have inside of me. And I know that I just know that I have this, like, very positive, optimistic, like, perspective on life.
The sound of Obi trying to get into the room.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear it,
chihuahua.
though. I don't know if you can hear it. I think it's too far away.
Maybe.
It's not that loud. He's small. But, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, everyone in my life has always told me, like, you make me feel so much better just being around you, and, like, you know, I know that I have this ability to, like, bring positive energy to people. So I feel like my purpose in, you know, synopsis is, I feel like my purpose is to use that light, to use that energy. That's why my, like, username is Light from Mars, because I really feel like it is my, like, purpose in life to share my light, to share this, like, positivity and these high vibrations with people through my creativity that makes me happy expressing, you know, and to impact a large number of people and inspire them and make them happy. So I think that that's my purpose.
Yeah, I think that that's also something that we always bonded over, was like that we always were like, I think that we're meant to do some pretty crazy stuff in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Next question.
What's something you haven't given up on yet?
I have not given up on being creative, being a musician, being an artist, being somebody who I always wanted to be, because when we first moved to New York, I mean, that was our goal. That was why we moved there. We thought that that was going to be the only way for us to achieve those dreams and to achieve those goals. And now we know, all these years later, that it's not necessary to be in that place in order to make crazy things happen. Just yesterday, like you were showing me Brittany Broski, and I was learning all about her story and, the kombucha girl and her story. And the thing is that it just goes to show. It's like, consistency, believe in yourself, keep doing it. And so, yeah, right now, my main thing that I'm focusing on is creating music. And I've been really just singing every day and hyping myself up about it. I'm making this new series on my Instagram where it's called, like, Songs That Defined Me, where I'm doing covers of songs from 10 years ago, 9 years ago, when I was in high school. And songs that really inspired me and made me want to be a musician. Since I was also very young, I also wrote music, and I also would write poetry and all these different things. And I remember first singing, on this sandhill in elementary school, and making up a song as I'm walking down this little sandhill. And ever since that moment, I always had this thought where I love singers. I love learning about them. I love learning about all of these different people who have really impacted our society because of their voice and because of what they're singing. Like Ella Fitzgerald, Nina Simone, a couple of different people that I can just think of on the top of my head where I know their whole story. I know everything about them. They had so many struggles. And I just really related to that. I was like, what? I've also been through so much, and I can bring that forward with my voice and through my songs. Stevie Nicks is another person who just, just learning about these people, it just really inspires me to want to keep going with that. So I think that one thing I have not given up on, and that's something that in the past I used to think, like, over the last couple of years, my time is up, or it's too late. Billie Eilish got famous when she was like 14 or whatever. But it doesn't matter, so I think that not giving up on what you...
It doesn't matter at all.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not supposed to be comparing myself to Billie Eilish or to
anyone.
Child prodigy type person. Yeah, exactly, to anybody. So that's definitely one thing that I have not given up on, is being a musician, an artist in general.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm thinking maybe let's do one more card for each of us, or one more question.
And we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Do that. Okay. So... I'll let you pick the last topic.
I'm gonna throw a curveball.
Okay, yeah, throw a curveball.
So we've got relationships, preferences, personalities.
There's a lot of
Sparks
various
is pretty cool.
ones. Yeah, it is. It's cute.
Let's see. Preferences.
Preferences.
Which moon phase is your favorite?
Oh,
of course, you're asking Marty this question.
I know the little witch. The witch of the podcast. I'm like, funny you should ask. Me and the moon were like this. Definitely, it's hard to say, but I definitely would say, new moon. The new moon. I wasn't born under the new moon, but, yeah, I don't know. I would say the new moon because that is the time where you can manifest and bring new things, and it's like the time of like planting seeds, and I don't know, I feel like it's like a new opportunity for growth. Like every time you hit a new moon, it's like a time of reflection, right? Like, well, the full moon is a reflective time too, and the full moon is more about like releasing and kind of like the end of the chapter. But it's like, I feel like it's like the new moon is the first chapter, like the first chapter of the book, right? It's like your introduction. It's like infinite possibilities. I feel like that's what I like about it, is it represents anything being possible, and like a new phase is beginning, and you can be and do anything you want, so I think that so I think that it would definitely have to be the new moon, and I think that you can do some really beautiful, powerful ceremonies around the new moon, and obviously depending on what sign the moon is in, it's going to have different like specific meanings and specific areas of your life that those beginnings or those things will be specifically highlighting, you know. But I would have to say the new moon. I would have to say the new moon.
All right.
Okay, you ready for your last question?
Very interesting.
I'm going to stick with preferences because that was a good question for me. So hopefully it'll give me a good question for you too. What do you think? Is that a good question?
What food do you crave the most often?
Okay, yeah.
So, I crave really any Mexican food because we're from El Paso. We're half Mexican.
But
so that just makes
specific,
sense.
like you gotta pick, what's your number one Mexican food?
That I crave the most often?
Yeah, like it's like, oof, like no matter what, you're like, hit me with that good.
I would have
Tacos,
to say, I would
maybe?
have to say, yeah, I'd have to say making burritos.
Burritos?
Yeah, making
Yeah.
a burrito. And my favorite recipe that I showed a lot of my friends when I was in Sweden, some of them had never tried a burrito before, was my carne con papas recipe that my grandma gave me. And then
Classic banger.
Yeah, and I use vegan meat, so I'll use Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat, Gardein, something like that. And I like, fry some potatoes, I mix it in, have like a serrano pepper in there, onion, garlic. It's just delicious. And this week I actually ate it twice for lunch. I would eat it with like a salad in one big bowl and then that in another bowl. So it's a way for me to get my protein in, still be vegan, still be relatively healthy. Like I don't use a lot of oil. Yeah, it's just my favorite. I think it's my favorite food that I do crave often. Like that's my comfort food. When I make that food, it just makes me feel better.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well.
And but real quick, for people who have no idea what that is, it's ground beef and potato with like garlic, onion, pepper.
Yeah.
That's basically what it means.
And we're both half Mexican, so you're definitely going to hear us often probably sneaking in little cultural references to our Mexican lifestyle. So, yeah, just you can expect that. I'm sure.
As time goes on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I don't know, I guess that's it. We're very excited to be starting this podcast, like we said, and excited to explore all sorts of different topics. I'm sure this gave you kind of like a little sneak peek into both of our personalities and what we enjoy doing and what we enjoy talking about. And going forward, we want to have like a segment for each of us on each episode where we'll both bring topics, to the podcast and things that, we each want to talk about and discuss. And yeah, I think we're going to get some really good episodes. I think it's going to be really fun and exciting and insightful and inspiring and uplifting, but also really just like introspective and funny and playful. And, I think it's just going to be an adventure. Nowhere to go but up. This is only episode 1.
Yeah, the goal is to shine our light. The goal is to give you all the best versions of ourselves and to really brighten your day and hopefully be somebody.
And have fun with it.
Exactly.
And have fun with
something that you look forward to.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what the goal of Andy and Madi is.
Yeah. So when you actually watch this episode or listen to this episode, we are going to be planning to release new episodes weekly. So you can expect to hear/watch see new episode every week. So that's something you could definitely look forward to. And yeah, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people?
The last thing that I wanted to mention was our pronouns, because I think we forgot to do that in the introduction.
Okay.
So just so the audience knows for reference from this point on, so my pronouns are he, so he, him.
Mine are she, her as well. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if you guys have any like ideas of maybe things that you want to hear us discuss, I think we would definitely welcomely open that. Like in our DMs. We'll put our Instagrams also on the screen right now, as well as our TikToks. Yes. Mine are all like from Mars, as I previously mentioned. That's my other nickname, by the way, Mars. That's kind of like my, I guess I would say it's my stage name. It's my stage
pseudonym.
name.
Yeah.
Mars, even though I'm going by Madi in this podcast, which is a bit confusing.
Personally, I never call her Mars.
Yeah, that's why Andrew did not want me to go by Mars, but I was like, whatever.
No, yeah, she doesn't.
You're just jealous that I have a cool nickname. I am just kidding.
No.
Yeah, he won't admit that.
I'm not jealous. I'm definitely not jealous. But yeah, and then my personal Instagram is at Andrew McDoris. And you can find us both on Instagram now, and we'll also put that somewhere in the description.
Yeah. So
and on the
you'll
screen
get all
for
the
those
links.
of you who are watching this.
And if you want to send us any suggestions, like I'm sure a lot of you have ideas of what you want us to talk about. If you know us already, like already know, what we're into, or maybe have questions, like we want to be interactive with our audience, so we want you guys to also get what you want to see from us.
Yeah, but this was a really good introduction episode, in my personal opinion. But really,
we're excited.
And so I hope you all have a beautiful week, day, weekend, night, day, whatever it is around the world for those of you who are listening to us. And just keep up, follow us, subscribe, and look forward to more content from both me and Marissa.
This has been
Andy
and Maudie. We love you. Bye.
We love you. Bye-bye.